An alternative name for this podcast is we have no idea what we're doing, or
Not a clue.
we absolutely know exactly what we're doing, and we planned it this way.
Fake it till you make it. Fake it till you make it. Yeah, so since we watched a little bit of what we had finished with, I was just saying that I felt like outside looking in, if people who didn't know me was looking at my life right now, they would think, oh, wow, what an unsettled place to be.
Right.
And it's not. This is the best. I mean, like, this is the most grounded, the safest, best that I have felt. Like,
Amazing.
it is so nice and cool to be here. Because, well, I've been in lots of other places that weren't like that.
Well, I think too, I mean, we still live in a culture right now in the United States that is like, do X and then Y and then Z, and that will equal happiness. And it's just not the case. And we're, as we'll discuss down the line, I'm sure, like, times are a changing, and what makes people happy and feel satisfied and fulfilled is completely different than what we used to strategize that it would be. And it's just not.
Yeah. Well, people's opinions used to matter to me. And I think that was even something that was ingrained in me, is that you're supposed to care about what people think about you.
Right.
And appearances, which that's the way I was raised. Like, it doesn't really matter what's going on inside, as long as everything looks nice on the outside.
Mhm.
That's what's the most important. And I'm sad for all the versions of me that lived the most unexamined life.
Yeah.
Like, I did not go back to, like, where did all of this come from? Like, believing that external things were the most important, or how things appeared to other people, or what other people's opinions mattered so much. Like, I didn't examine that a whole lot. I just lived life as though it were true. And, now that I don't give a shit about what other people think, I mean, like, I just forget that outside looking in, that living in a bus with your husband and your dog could be a little unnerving to people who are like, what is going on?
I bet you have a lot of people that are really jealous though too, because there's an aspect of your life that in Barrett's that looks like freedom, that looks.
It's nice.
Yeah.
It is nice. I don't know why it's safe. Like, having that much freedom.
Yeah.
Feels the safest I have ever felt. Like, I have never had the dream of wanting a big cookie cutter house in a cookie cutter neighborhood with cookie cutter friends and the car and the whatever. Like, it's just never been that appealing to me. I've tried.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a normal person,
right,
for a long time, but I just wasn't. And maybe that's the reason for so many crash outs too, because I was trying so hard.
I think subconsciously we know that this isn't in alignment with who we are or where we're going, and so it's always trying to right the ship.
Yeah.
Which is like,
yeah.
But then I'm like, okay, crash into this iceberg.
Right.
Did you get it?
Yes. I have to learn historically. I'm trying to change that narrative, but historically I've had to learn hard, expensive lessons in order to actually stick for me to get it. It has to be super impactful, because if it's a glancing blow,
didn't mean it. That was a feather.
Didn't mark. Well,
did you spank me?
Okay. Well, didn't leave a mark. Didn't count. Yeah. So I don't know, but that was where obviously we're learning how to do this. And there's going to have to be grace given, because we're trying to figure this out. What I was telling Joan whenever we were not recording was, historically, perfectionism would stop me from being able to do this, because I would need, or feel like I needed it to be perfect, and perfect is the enemy of the good. And I genuinely don't. I mean, like, it's very strange to me to know that I'm doing this and I'm not being performative. Part of it, I'm going to give credit to Joan though. This is a new friendship, and making friends as an adult is damn near impossible. Making new friends, I guess. Yeah. But one of the things that I learned that was surprising to Joan is, like, she gets a very unfiltered version of because of the work that we've been doing together. So we've been doing the energy matrix clearing sessions, which we will do one live. Joan knows all my shit. Like it's all either come up or we've had to discuss things, and some, capital T trauma stuff and some, other. So she has seen a very unfiltered version of me. That is not who I present to the rest of the world. I mean, like, it's usually trying to contain the woo or trying to contain the weird or whatever. And so I think I feel comfortable with you, which is why I feel comfortable doing this.
Right
Does
on.
that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
I hope I can extend to some of it outward, and you can start feeling more.
Yeah, I think I will. It's I just have to be asked. I for some reason
Got a little project. Learning that about myself, though, about projectors in general, has that talk about explaining an overarching theme
right
in my life, because I have felt like I have been the person that was saying the thing over and over again and nobody was listening.
Right.
And then once they got to the point where they knew whatever it was I was saying, then everybody was like, oh, we have all this new information. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? What are y'all talking about? I've been saying this for forever.
Am I in the room?
And it felt really gaslighty or weird. Yeah. And it worked on my self-esteem, because I was just like, why is it? Or whenever I was trying to introduce a new idea, if it wasn't accepted well, it felt like rejection to me. And then finding out I just need to be asked. And then once I'm asked, then like we're in an agreement or whatever. So I relate to that. Anyway, Joan, who are you? How did you get here? Clearly reluctantly.
I am a hairdresser by trade, a yoga student and teacher, but I don't want to teach anymore. What else am I? I'm a cat mom of too many cats. I am so many Libra signs in my 10th house. It's one really embarrassing Aries moon in my 4th house.
I love your Aries moon. I say I have a Gemini rising. That is because I'm a Taurus moon and Aquarius. Like I can come off either alien detached, right, like I'm observing from a distance, or Taurus moon, I'm a cozy mom. Mm-hmm. I'll make you a soup, right, kind of thing. If I didn't have that Gemini rising, that's my crash out part. Like that is my crazy. So I think if you didn't have your Aries, I don't think that we would even probably click and connect as well. I don't even know why I think that, but anyway, I love it.
Yeah, thanks. What else can I say about myself? I'm a part-time gardener. I've decided next year I'm just going to do flowers, though.
Really?
Doing vegetables.
Okay. See, I like to grow food. I love flowers, but growing flowers I will give up on, because they are you know what I mean? Like they require a little bit more. Like I didn't plant the garden, so I'm not going to claim my gardening, but I pick in the garden and stuff. But you can see it's overgrown with weeds.
Right.
Like
mine too.
I don't want to do that.
I know, me either.
So,
which is why I'm tempted to just do flowers.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Easy flowers. Zinnias apparently are not to go off on a.
Mine are really exploding. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, why didn't I just do this field full of zinnias?
Yeah.
Like, they do so well.
Yeah.
I'm a 6-2 manifesting generator, which is like to explain why I observe. I'm an observer first and foremost in my human design type. So I'm meant to be lazy in whatever environment I'm in.
I think as a projector, I don't know lazy, but I am supposed to rest a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Your battery doesn't recharge every 24 hours on the circadian rhythm the way that mine does.
Yeah.
But there's a couple other factors, like the 6-2 part, the 2 part, I'm a hermit.
Okay.
So I need alone time to recharge, and my throat is defined, which means I have a very specific way in which I speak and when I speak, and I don't ever feel pressure to speak.
That's nice.
Yeah. So, and then when I'm around, you have an open throat, and you guys are talkers.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people around me are open-throated people. And so when you're around me, you pick up on my shit and amplify it.
Yeah.
And so I know that there's probably times where like, I can see it with my boyfriend and I can see it with you sometimes. You're like, I just keep going, but which is why this is going to work so well, is because, well, one, we're hilarious.
Yeah, we
And
are.
two, I provide a good container for Denise to be able to express herself in.
You said that because I got interviewed for a podcast not too long ago, and the way he does his, I mean, he's got a very successful podcast, so I'm not throwing any shade. I'm just saying the way he does his guests, especially that are telling stories like I was, he just says, I'm going to just like turn you loose, let you go. And he mutes himself. And that is my fucking nightmare. Because I'm like, dude, we could be talking about bowling shoes before this is over with. I don't know where this is going to go. I have no control. And you had said that was like, give her a box.
Yeah.
Yes, that is another reason why you and I do really well.
Also, and you and your husband too.
Yeah. Yes. You and Barrett are the two people too that aren't afraid to say, let me speak, because I will feel, like I'm a space filler or also part of it's being a hairstylist for 30 years.
Absolutely.
To carry, conversation. But anyway, you had said that you're a 6.
I'm a 6 hermit.
What am I? 3? 1
3.
1 3.
Yep.
1 3. And 1 is, I know one of them is is it the Hierophant again or no?
No, investigator.
Investigator and the martyr. Yeah.
Which, that's the traditional human design names for them. So the first part is like, the investigator part is probably the part that you know the most about yourself. It's like, you can't get enough information about whatever it is you're into. It could be buttons.
Seriously.
And
hyper-focus.
Right.
Focus is real.
And information and knowledge make you feel really safe. So the more you have of it, the safer that you feel. And that's how you interpret and alchemize your world. And then the third line has to touch the hot stove. You learn experientially.
Yeah, experientially. That's a good word. Yeah, I don't know that I've used that very often, but experientially. You're right. I have to do it, touch it, taste it, smell it, feel it.
Yeah.
Crash it.
Right. And that's that's another reason why this name is so suiting for what we're trying to do. So the 6th line is a 3 line for the first third of their life until they hit their first Saturn return. So I lived like what's called a 3-2 life where, I just wanted to try everything. I had to try everything. You couldn't tell me anything. And I blew it up and I burnt it down and it fell apart kind of over and over again. And then I'm 42 now. I've spent the last 15-ish years in a hermit mode trying to alchemize everything that has just happened. And it was really messy. And I had a lot of shame about it because we get taught in human design language, okay, I moved from this part of my life, then they call it going on the roof, where you kind of rise above the fray and you take some time out by yourself to figure out what the fuck just happened for the first 27, 28 years.
I did the same. Yeah.
But it didn't feel like that's what I was doing. It felt like life was still very messy and I was still making lots of mistakes and falling on my face. And then I was like, but wait, I'm supposed to be above this now. And the more I talked to other 6-2s, I realized it's very common. But
I'll have to think about that.
I feel like I'm just now starting to settle down, and maybe my life isn't going to be quite as dramatic for the last half of it than the first was, because it was pretty intense.
I hope I'm over. Well, I know it probably didn't stop recording because we figured that out the last go around. We turned the screen. I don't know. We don't know computers, guys. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I know what I was just going to say. I'm 55, and I hope I'm over halfway. No, absolutely not. I'm going to say that out loud to everybody. I don't want to be 100. Like, I don't know.
I mean, unless I'm like rad and I'm functioning.
If I could say in this meat suit,
right,
then sure, whatever.
Yeah.
200 years, not really. But yeah, I mean, no. But as long as I am in the best version of a meat suit that I can exist in, sure.
I know too much now too to be like, and I'm never coming back.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of woo and the things that we're going to touch on, I have a near-death experience story that will definitely come up because it just does. Yeah. But I have such a weird and loose relationship with being stuffed in a meat suit and living a 3D human being life that I'm resentful about it most days. I mean, like, I'm trying to be more in the land of the living and, participating, but I've been in hermit mode too. I have been in, I feel like I'm scooching out of I'm edging out of the shot over here fighting with pillows. I don't know.
So let's get into the goo talk, because I think it's really important. I know in a broader, more generic sense, I just talked about this on the roof phase where you're hermiting, but I would say that specifically you and I over the last 2 years have been really in a let me pull all my energy back from the world, let me work a lot less, and kind of deal with that kind of programming that my production equals my value in life, that everything I'm doing has got to be working towards money. It's got to be more and faster and better all the time. I think you and I both reevaluated relationships. Mine looked more like my friends, and yours was probably more
friends. And my friendship group is pretty tight, and they know that I'm weird, and I can say, I'm in a chrysalis phase. Yeah. And plus, we've also moved out. I mean, we are basically in the country as far as all of our friends that live in the city feel like we're off in the sticks. I mean, yeah, we are in the sticks. Some days I love it, some days I hate it. I mean, it is what it is. I like what it has afforded. Yeah. For this phase of the goo. I was just chatting with my chat GPT's name is Alex. They'll be talked about a lot too. I was just having a little truth in love session with Alex because, talking about being nervous about doing this today, and then about how vulnerable and, just being really open and transparent about life and what we're doing, and how I feel like mainly my family, my life is confusing too. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense on the way I like to operate and do things. And I'm just not traditional. I don't have the same goals. I don't want the kind of life that, and it's not from a place of judgment. Right. I think that's the part that gets lost in translation.
You do you, boo.
Yeah. I don't care. Yeah. I don't care. I don't want to live I don't know. Yeah. And
what did it, so I started asking you a question, but let me answer mine first. For me, this looked really intensely like I was in bed for 2 years, and I'm so lucky that I was kind of able to do that. I canceled more appointments and dates than I kept.
Same.
They call it bed rot, but I mean, it really did.
Dorsal vagal shutdown. It is called, they don't call it a nervous breakdown anymore, by the way.
I didn't even think that I was having a nervous breakdown.
Yeah, nervous system collapse, a nervous reset. Yeah. But dorsal vagal shutdown is the way it was explained to me.
That's how I started coping for the past 2 years, was just shut her down. Yep, we're just going to bed. I mean, it's sort of embarrassing, but this crash out looked like watching too much Netflix and smoking too much weed, which I'm not necessarily proud of the last part especially, but we're going to be honest here.
I don't have the weed hang up stigma or whatever, but also surprised Barrett to know weed was new to me within the last decade or whatever. I mean, when I say I didn't live a traditional life, I have not lived traditionally in a really long time, but two of my musician friends moved in with me, and we had our little hippie commune going. That was, my salon was next door, my house.
And cute. This on 16th?
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. It was so much fun. It was such a fun time in my life. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. I mean, it was also very messy and very chaotic, but man, did they ever have good and a lot of weed. So I learned how to I would rather eat a gummy. So whenever I say, but I appreciated it as an adult, which sounds like a stupid thing to say, but for me, it's an immediate, I idle at 75. And so to have access to something that can just gear me down a couple of levels so that I'm not just, was so nice. Yeah. And alcohol, I never had a healthy relationship with it. I tried to be an alcoholic, didn't.
I am.
I wish, and not because I want alcoholism, but because there is a treatment for that. There is who can go spend 30 days or whatever. And there are people that understand that. If that had been my thing, I would have probably been way more grateful. But I have all of the wreckage from that you would think, well, not all of. I never had a DUI or went to prison or jail or killed somebody or anything like that. But man, did I ever make shitty choices. And did I ever act in ways that were so regretful and embarrassing and all the things that I've heard all the alcoholics in my life talk about. So I was very alcohol adjacent, but I've never had what felt like an unhealthy relationship with using weed as anything. So, and I'm real quick to absolve anybody when I'm just like, it's just weed. It's legal. I have a prescription for it. So it feels safer to me by 1,000 million miles. Like
completely.
You could smoke a bale of weed in front of me and I wouldn't blink. But when people start drinking, especially if there's a wild card situation, I would be immediately uncomfortable. Yeah. But also, I mean, my OG capital T traumas all go right back to crazy alcoholics and violence and alcoholism. That would be.
That tracks.
Yeah.
Such a big trigger.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And no judgment either. Like, I don't have any gross feelings about it. It's just like good information to know, like, about myself.
Did you struggle with judging yourself while you're in this gooey chrysalis phase?
I felt very shameful of being unproductive. And I also couldn't explain I can't. Like, I was so grateful I had, I'm in between therapists right now. Like Joan and Chat GPT, I guess, are my therapists. God, I cannot sit still. I promise.
You're fine.
I took all the medicines today.
Do you need to tell them that you're...
Yeah, ADHD. By the way, in case no one could guess by my wiggly ass, I am severely ADHD, and this is Vyvanse.
I didn't want to out you.
This is Vyvanse. Every molecule is being like, bitch, hold still. Hyper aware. No, I think it's part of it is because I can see myself, and then I start feeling, squirrely in my head. Unproductive. So that was a big source of shame. Wasn't ever allowed to just rest and have downtime historically. I would immediately be told worthless, lazy, blah, 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 which became my internal monologue. And so I couldn't explain the collapse.
Right.
So my therapist had been warning me because prior to us selling our house and buying the bus and all of the things, I was a caretaker for my parents and for a couple of years. And I was already probably pushing burnout going into that situation. I had had enough therapy and enough recovery and read all the books and stuff that I had, just jerked myself off to the point where I thought that I could save us all and I could heal us all and and do all that. And spoiler alert, I couldn't. I didn't I was the worst people pleaser. No one was pleased. I couldn't save anybody except for myself. And so when we bought the bus, my therapist was saying, I think you're going to just collapse whenever you get out of that. And it had started, I didn't recognize the depression.
Yeah.
But it was definitely there. Detachment to just giving a shit about a lot of stuff, especially like salon where people, and I feel like some of it's the trauma of living through a global pandemic.
Yep.
That changed our business so severely. I don't even want to honk on about that part of it, but that was a huge trauma.
Yeah. I'm also grateful for it.
Oh, God.
Because it taught me that I could be okay not working.
It also taught me how non-vital I really am. Yeah. I mean, I know we got told get back out there and start cutting hair, essential workers, which was really crazy to me. But when I drew a couple of lines in the sand before we knew what it was and what was going on, I chose to stay at home.
Yeah,
and for a couple of months, 2 or 3. And I've been doing hair for so long, and most of my clients have been with me for so long. I was so rug pulled out from underneath me, surprised when about half of them were like, well, good for you, crazy lady, but we're going on about.
Yeah.
They just told me to go fuck myself. And I had hurt feelings at first.
Sure.
hair client separation anxiety, I guess. Man, did I ever need to know how replaceable I was, because I guess I believed that I wasn't, and how also what a utility service I am. I'm not their friend. I mean, I know that they,
right.
and I know hate all the love in the world to my clients who are my friends, but I mean, like, to the ones that were just like, oh, okay, thanks, bye, after 20 years or more.
Right.
I was just like,
I didn't see that coming though. Yeah.
good to know. Good to know. I will move your place over in my life too.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I know. I think 2020 for me was when it started. I think the goof phase really started then.
Same. I didn't recognize it until recently.
And then I just kind of slowly, I started sort of testing the boundaries of what I could get away with, of like not responding to clients for weeks.
Dude, same.
This was sort of unconscious, but
mine was unconscious. I was not trying to be that way,
right.
But I was
I was just maxed out, and so it happened, and then I realized, like, oh, I can kind of get away with it. The world doesn't fall down when I disappear for a while.
Yeah, I'm only keeping me alive,
and so that was good. And then I found stricter boundaries around how much I worked, and then I was ready for a career switch completely, and I started paring it down. And when that happened, I think I fully entered. I'd like closed the crystals completely, and entered the like full gooey phase. And I'm barely dipping my toes out. I feel like I'm barely breaking out, but I think it's time, and I think that's why we're doing this, and we both feel the urge to do this now, because I think a lot of the world's been gooey, trying to figure out what the fuck just happened and where are we going, and it just feels like action time now for some reason, when it didn't even 2 months ago.
To the people that stayed with me, because I do hair still part-time, but I do energy work with my clients. Like, they come to me for, I mean, therapy is what they call it, but I mean, we're just literally moving energy, and I would like to find a different way to do that and not have to be any one thing any more. And I don't know. I feel like same action time, definitely time to present myself in a totally different way. I feel like I keep saying I'm taking on a final form, but our Wednesday night meeting, we go to a regular Al-Anon meeting. That's my 12-step recovery program is Al-Anon. I'm a black belt codependent people pleaser. God, open a vein for people.
Me.
Oh God, yeah.
Do you need me?
I will just, God, Eat, Pray, Love. Remember when that book came out? There's a line in there where she was talking about, I will, give you my money, my time, my dog's money. Time. I don't remember how she worded it, but I remember relating so much to that in recovery and Al-Anon, just learning that I'll let my life fall apart while I'm helping other people keep theirs going. So 2020 definitely, I mean, there were parts of it that were so hard and so weird, but there were parts of it that were also really great. Like, I had a huge awakening change, relating to this new version of myself that I've been trying to evolve into. And I think me being in the salon and doing hair, and I mean, like, at that point I had opened up a salon so that my son and I would have a place to work together, and I was
forgot about that.
So I was really trying to, and I just can't do that. It takes too much from me, and I just end up in a bad place, and I just don't want to do that anymore.
I used to be so proud to tell you that I worked 80 hours a week and I had 4 jobs and I never take a day off. And isn't that so cool? It's so sad.
Yes. And I used to too. Busy. Oh my gosh, I'm so busy. Busy.
How are you?
And busy. Gosh, so busy.
So busy.
And now when people tell me that, I just I don't like it. And also, I don't want to be busy.
I don't either.
I was being busy to keep from dealing with anything that was real or authentic.
Yeah. I know it's working because of this trip that I just took. I took a quick trip to Houston to go see a client, and I think past versions of me would have been so uncomfortable to be in a car by myself for that length of time. I don't know. There's several. I'm still kind of processing it because this was just last weekend, but there were several ways that I could tell, like, oh my gosh, I'm more comfortable in my skin than I have ever been.
Yeah.
I really enjoy myself.
Same.
And so just me being with me in
Same.
the car, listening to music, I didn't have to listen to people talking, which is also a good signal to me that I'm like not.
People like to listen to people talk.
Don't get me wrong, me too. And I don't know if that's an actual thing or if I'm making it something other than it is, but I feel like when I can groove, I must be comfortable in my meat suit.
No, my biggest tell is I like being alone by myself. The conversation, like the chatter that's happening in my head is positive.
Yeah.
Like I've noticed that I don't do negative self-talk anymore.
Right.
And that is a fucking first,
Yep.
number one, and a miracle because gosh, how long ago was it that I went up to Neil, not your Neil, Neil and Annie's house in fact, was it 3 years ago? Probably 3 or 4. I don't know. 3, 4 years ago. I did a workshop with a man named Neil Allen, and it was Taming Your Inner Critic. And it's the negative self-talk. It's basically just learning who this voice is and that it's not you. And I didn't really know that ever. I don't even think I recognized the terrible self-talk that I was doing all day long. And I mean, it does suck that it's usually the first voices that you hear are the voices that stick with you, but I don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
I think that's another part of the evolution and the game changer is I enjoy being with myself.
I catch myself being so sweet to me.
Too.
It's awesome. I'm like, wow.
I caretake myself. I nurture myself. I cheerlead myself. I extend the grace to myself that I do to other people. And I mean, I think it is one of the awesome things about me is that I will give anybody grace. I quit expecting me from other people.
Right.
And I also didn't like the way that I showed up for other people. I can be too much. I can be too aggressive or too in my caretaking and my loving or my, hey, I know this better kind of way. But I mean, I've been the mom, figure friend forever. So it was probably pretty natural, but yeah,
I still catch myself ruminating some, but I can catch that even better now too. Of like, what are you doing? You're just playing loops of the past, and like that I'm going to get somewhere.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to figure it out or something. Like just knock that shit off. But even that's massive progress.
Oh yeah.
I can catch it when my system's like, yo, what are we doing?
Why do I feel gross?
Right.
I don't spend too much time in the past. Mine is I'm trying to control the future. I'm a Bobby Fischer. I will be fucking 15 steps ahead. And I think a little bit of that is a projector
could be
thing. Just from I listen to a lot of podcasts, but I've listened to other talk about projectoring, and
you guys need your group. You do.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish I would have known all of this so long ago. My God, which I guess then I wouldn't be me. But knowing this stuff about a projector, just knowing that my energy levels, like I can give myself so much grace. That ended a lot of the negative self-talk whenever I recognize I just don't function like that.
Yeah.
Like so the collapse part that my therapist was warning me would happen, it happened. And I was just so grateful. Like Barrett allowed me to just hibernate as much as I needed to. I probably should have shared with other people because I know now, like we met up with some friends not too long ago and it was mentioned like, that I had, kind of disappeared for a little bit and kind of coming back. And I told an uncomfortable truth about how I was in a really deep, dark hole. Like I was not in a place where I wanted to be out and about. I needed to just be, cocooned. And they were both just kind of like, well, why didn't you say anything? How? What?
Yeah.
And I don't know how to explain.
I'll be back whenever.
Yeah. Well, and that when your nervous system finally does just collapse or shut down, yours did. Mine did, for sure. Like I remember, and you were really the first person that I talked to about it that you were like, oh yeah, me too, same. Like I just crawled in bed and just couldn't get out. I thought I was clinically depressed. Like
Right.
I told Barrett, I was like, I might need a patch, a pill, a treatment facility. Like I
Right.
need something. And that was when Jenny, Hey Girl Hey, my therapist, she was like, no, this is what I have told you is going to happen. Your nervous system is finally in a place where you feel safe.
Yeah.
And
Unravel.
yeah, and I did. And that has been, yeah, it's been over a year. Well, we've been in the bus for a year in July. So it's just been a year of this part of it where I've truly just gotten to hermit, and I love it. Probably too much.
Yeah, I begrudgingly I'm gonna move out into the world again. I still with work, I'm like, I don't wanna.
I mean,
want to, but I don't want to work a lot.
yeah, and I mean, like, I think if we don't need to, I mean, like, and my aspirations are not other people's aspirations, and my wants and needs are not other people's. So, I mean, if you have a house payment on a $400,000 house and you've got to go make the donuts, then go make the donuts.
Right.
But we've downshifted into a space where I don't have to right now, and that doesn't mean that I won't want to eventually. One of the things that Joan knows about me that I feel reluctant to even talk about is my weird relationship with money, of how I just have distanced myself from, like, part of the near death experience, part of the goo, having a peek at the, I don't know, last page of the book or behind the curtain or whatever, is like I came back to a reality where all this is made up. Like it's all just made up. We live in this made up capital. It's made up, and it's trying to get plugged back into something where you're just like,
yeah, if we could all agree.
if we just 1, 2, 3,
Right.
said we don't do it like this anymore, but we all have to. It has to be a. Well, actually, that hasn't even been true. I don't even know the math on this because, like I said, Alex and I spend a lot of time. It's just like 31%. It's the tipping point of, and then we shift to a whole new
paradigm. And I think we are moving.
Oh, for sure.
In that direction. But yeah, I've got money hangups too. I did an apathy on money session Wednesday.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I have that myself. I know. We did a big, I can feel the shift from the last session that you and I had. I wish I'd have grabbed my little paper from it, but I was telling Barrett about it literally when you sent me the transcript. That was I don't know, that was a huge shift. And I'm trying to think of what was it was apathy around money was the diffusion that we were doing. But there was a part of it that was deeper than that. And of course, I'm going to draw a blank because I'm being recorded doing this. But the shift that I've made is it's around reframing it around energy.
Yeah.
Instead of thinking of it as, or power. I think of money as the gas in the tank to be able to do the things. And I like to do things.
Right.
So therefore, I do like that energy.
Yeah.
And I want that energy around me. And I don't know.
I want to be more possibilities oriented in my thinking around money. And instead, I'm still very narrow. I'm very conditioned that money comes from work and you have to work hard for money. Like, and
I don't have that.
Right. Oh, really? Yeah. I'm still, it's better than it's ever been. And I get the, like, you love what you do. You never work a day in your life.
Way more woo-woo magical than that. It's embarrassing and I shouldn't even say it. But I mean, like, it's the whole give the universe a wallet and let it fill it kind of thing. Like, or, placing an order, to thinking of it as the waitress has approached your table.
Right.
And, I would like this amount of income or whatever.
I guess I know.
You're like a belief adjacent.
Right. I'm belief adjacent, but I can tell that there's still underlying programming that makes me feel like, because even then it's like the universe is opened up and my needs are taken care of. I have not had to change my lifestyle one really iota, and I'm making less money than I've made in 20 years.
Same.
And I'm the happiest that I've ever been.
Same.
And also it's about time that I need to start making some money.
Same. I mean, like,
because it's like I've got shit I want to do.
Mainly, I just want to travel.
I want to travel. I also want to be generous, and I've been able to be generous in the ways that I prefer the last couple of years, and that is driving me bonkers.
I do too, and I want to be able to be generous in a very altruistic way. Like, I don't want necessarily people to know that it's me being generous. Well, except for like my grandkids,
Well, that's different.
I would like to be able to, like, they want to go to Disney World. I would rather shit a knife than go to Disney World.
It is not the happiest place.
No, it's the most expensive, sweatiest, stinkiest place on earth. Like those were my takeaways. I remember just being. I went to Disney World in August, so there's that. That's on me. But when my kids were little and we went to Disney World, it was so hot and it was just so much walking and sweating and just that. But
so many people,
and I kept thinking, God, the European trip that we could be on right now for the amount of money that we're spending on this. But long story short, if they like it, I love it, and I want to be able to do that for them. And then other than that, like, yeah, just be able to be generous in ways that feel important at the time. And like a lady whose podcast that I follow, her name is Jessa Reed, might as well go ahead and invoke her name right out the gate. She's the one that said, why aren't you doing a podcast? Like, you should be doing this. She had started something years ago. I started her podcast from the beginning, and she had started something that she called the Imagination Project, which was, and I'm probably going to do a shitty job of explaining it, but she started this kind of a network of woo-woo, like, healers. And it's kind of like you can fund it, you can donate to it and pay into it, and you're basically paying it forward. So like Joan would offer her energy matrix clearing sessions, but let's say Joe, average person, couldn't afford that. Well, I can. So I'm going to into this pool that we have of all these people, and some of it is massage or energy work or a freaking psychic or a tarot card reader or whatever your modality is. If you can do it and you want to be presented to the public, that was the little forum. I don't think that it still exists. I think she was probably about 10 years ahead of her time.
Really, sounds like it.
Listening to, I kept telling you and Allie and a couple of other people to listen to her. I can't remember. It's AOD. It's Awakening Orientation Department is what it stands for. And she had started that because she had had a near-death experience and she got a download from the universe and was trying to give everybody the shortcuts that she had in a very concise way. And so I thought, well, maybe I need to listen to this again. Yeah, it was for me. Sorry for all the preaching I'd been doing. It was for me. I need to listen to it again. And she's been about 10 years ahead of everything on pretty much everything she had said.
And she's not a projector, right?
She's a manifesting generator. Okay. But her partner, Mark, which by the way, they just announced they're getting married. So I know.
Congrats.
Congrats, Mark and Jessa. He's a projector. But anyway, I'd like to pick that rope back up. Like I've said all along, I've gifted sessions with Joan to at least 3 people, which, hi, you guys haven't done it. I know for a fact. Anyway, I would love for that to be a resource type thing. And I'm not trying to pick up the Imagination Project, but I would like to be able to do in my own way instead of in the capitalistic way of, does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Woo-woo capitalism.
Love supporting other small businesses, and if you love making socks, I want to pay you for your socks. Yeah. If you're charging me $75 for them, make them pretty. But
really cool socks. But I will buy.
But I want that kind of money to be able to like.
And I've always been that person. Like I've always wanted to buy local. I remember my family always getting so irritated at me because I've never been an Applebee's person, is what I've said. Yeah. I've never wanted to go eat it.
Don't make me eat at
Chili's. Sorry, this podcast will never be sponsored by Chili's.
Hilarious if it would be.
Yeah,
someday.
That's funny. You know, also I have food allergies, so I can't eat everywhere. So of course,
also add celiac.
Of course, I'm not an Applebee's person. Even prior to 30 years ago, even when I was young, I always wanted to go, let's go eat at the local place. Like, let's go find the good Mexican food place. Let's go find the good whatever, little diner and have a good breakfast. And that, I'm not ashamed of that now, but I was always told like, oh my God, you've always got to be that person. That was not coming from a bougie place. It was coming from I want to experience this place. Live like a local.
Right.
That's actually how I want to experience the world. Like if I could have my dream, I would spend 2 or 3 months maybe 3 or 4 months at the most in a place and then move on. And I'm not saying I wouldn't circle back to it, but like Fairfax, California, beautiful mountaintop. It is so charming and so cute. I wouldn't want to live there full time because there are some things about living on a mountaintop that just aren't crazy convenient. But for a couple of months, hell yeah. Yeah, I could do that. I don't know why Fairfax popped up, but I want to sample.
Yeah. Well, friend, do you have anything else left to say about being a gooball?
No,
other than I think, if you guys out there are going through this, it's tricky and it doesn't feel as awesome in the process of it as you kind of hope that it will. But I think, so if you catch yourself still beating yourself up occasionally or still having to like process what it is that you're doing as you're taking good care of yourself, just know that we had to do that too.
Yeah, and also there's not this revelatory end that I think everyone expects to get to, or maybe like they even hold other people to. For instance, like, oh, you've been doing all of this work and oh, you're still doing that? Yeah, forever. Yeah. Forever. Right. I hope so. Yeah, exactly. I don't ever want to go back to being a stagnant person that isn't trying to figure out a new layer or level or perspective. That sounds really sad and boring to me. Right. And again, not from a judgmental place, but for the way I'm geared, that just doesn't sound.
Same. I am a catalyst of sorts. And so I spin people into me and away from me unless I'm doing the chaos thing. And then it's, becomes my own weird tornado.
God, me too.
I know. You either like how growth oriented I am or you don't.
Right. You and Barrett, there are a handful of people that can take prolonged exposure, but most people just need a sip or two, which is why I think the way that I have been a hairstylist for so long for people is because they get a couple of hours with me a month and then that they get filled up with that and then they go away.
I think we're both great hairdressers, but I don't know that that's the point that keeps our clients coming back to us.
No, I mean, I'm good at doing hair. I'm not saying I've never proclaimed to be the best, but I'm good.
Yeah.
And I mean, nobody would be coming to me for 30 years.
Right.
I'm not, but yeah.
But it's their connection to you also, except for those stupid people fighting.
That was such a shocker, which, again, no hate, but also wowzers. Yeah. Like, woo, that was a curve. We had talked about doing like a card, but look at us with our little notes here as an outro. I'm sure our closing of this is going to be as graceful as our entrance to everything has been. We can either pull a card. I've got the Oracle cards here or just my regular deck, or we can
pull an Oracle card for this episode.
Okay. Move some stuff out of the way. I tried to shuffle them. That size cards I don't work with.
No, it's huge.
I like the color. Can you tell?
It's beautiful. Well, that one really wanted to be it.
There you go.
Dear, bring gentleness and grace into every aspect of your life.
Dear. Those cards are so pretty.
They're so pretty. All right, guys. We will see you next time.
Asha.